Hi, I'm here to do today's art lesson. So I'm here a little bit early as always, just so that it gives everyone a chance to turn up and know that they're in the right place. Oh, we've got somebody. Hello, whoever it is. Who's that? I'm just going to move this down a little bit more. I'm going to sit down today. You're going to see why in a minute. Yeah, I've got everything, I think. Oh, we've got one. Who else have we got? Who's that? I wonder if that's... Let me guess. Okay, there we go. So we'll start in a few minutes. True to form, I have my spotty mug of tea that I seem to always have with me. I've been busy all morning doing things around the house, sorting it out. And the weather's been really quite nice today, so I hope it's nice where you are. Oh, hello Julie. I don't think I've had you before, so hello, nice to meet you. Who else have we got today? We've got some other new people. Oh, numbers are jumping up now, that's good. Do like and share it, even at this moment, because then it will get other people watching. For anyone new, there's about 30 odd now, little half-hour lessons and all sorts of things. Printing, drawing, painting, crafting, face making, mask making, card making, all manner of things. Just nice bits and pieces. I always used to say that my ambition when I was a child was to be the Blue Peter lady, so I think maybe that's what I've been doing with these. I actually teach art professionally, so the bits I'm doing these lessons aren't really from that. But those lessons get remarkable results in a matter of hours, and I've worked with things like the neuroscientists, Oxford University, UK Sport, whatever else. We'll start today's lesson, which is completely free, in a minute. But just for anyone new, if you are interested, this shows the 3-hour progress of a 10-year-old girl, and she wasn't copying me. I was teaching what I would refer to as the grammar, spelling and punctuation of art. 3 hours on perspective like this, which is out on the beach, ideally going for a walk. Even graduates, even architects have said they couldn't believe what they learned. 3 hours on paint and brush technique. And it's generic to all mediums. Most people go straight into a medium, sometimes too quickly, without actually understanding colour. And the minute I say that, people imagine colour wheels and things. It's way beyond that. That's not what I'm talking about. There's an element of that, but not really what I'm talking about. The offshoot of this is, this was the 5-lesson progress of a 90-year-old stroke victim, 4-lesson progress of a 50-year-old German lady, and 3-lesson progress of a 40-year-old Sri Lankan man. So it really does work with anyone. I've worked with stroke victims, people with Parkinson's, all sorts of things, children, adults. So everyone says not me, but it's not that. It's just that if you haven't got the right core fundamental knowledge on anything, you can't do it. So there we go. Anyway, today we're doing something completely bonkers with some toilet rolls. I think as we're in lockdown, toilet rolls seem to have become, in part, a new currency almost. So yeah, I've got my selection of toilet rolls over here. I'll just bring them over and I will show you what we're going to do with them. So I've got handfuls of toilet rolls, and you need some old tights. You'll need a few other bits and pieces. Some of it you can just get imaginative with on your own. Hello Carol, hello Anita, hello Emily. Who else have I got there? Anyone else going to say hello to me? I'll start about right on 1:30 or like a minute later, just so that anybody coming will be here. So I was just talking about the art lessons. My son James, who's an international juggler, he's not working at the moment for obvious reasons because he's normally on the cruise ships, and he and I have been doing parties through Zoom. So if you want a party, half art, half juggling, then give me a message and I'll send you details about it. And what else? I'm doing Zoom lessons. I'll do a Zoom group lesson and things when I go into the really serious art stuff that will give you core fundamentals like I was explaining here. If you go to my website, it's www.artatthebeach.co.uk. So www.artatthebeach.co.uk. You can see lots of videos, lots of recommendations by huge organisations, all sorts of things. Hello, Sean. I think that's a new one to me. I'm not sure if I've seen you before or not, but hello. Lovely to have you here. So, what time is it? Let me see. I think we're pretty much there. I'm going to start this lesson a bit differently to usual. Usually I make something for you and you copy me. Today, I think the best way I can do it is to actually deconstruct for you and you can see how I did it. So for a change, you're going to get the end result first and then we're going to work backwards. There are lots of different ways you could do this. So I've told you the main bits of equipment being toilet rolls and tights and things. But you could go about this any number of ways. What I like doing whenever I'm teaching, whichever way I'm teaching, is to inspire you. Oh, hello, second time. Is to inspire you to have ideas of your own and just show you that if you use your imagination, like Henry Ford said, the only limitation is your own imagination. And if you use your imagination, you can do anything. So I have a friend here to introduce you to give you a bit of a clue what we're going to do today. And this is someone I've had for many years, and he's here to say hello to you. Now, I saw him, he hangs in my laundry, and he got me thinking. And a while ago, we talked about proportions and figures and how we break into sections. And I thought this was an ideal chance to use toilet rolls. So here we go. We have a friend. This friend is actually quite big. And she's particularly attractive, I think you'd agree. And she has come to see you. So she's got very, very lurid pink hair. She hasn't got a face at the moment. She's wearing a dress and she's got legs and arms. And when I manoeuvre her from up here with my 2 wooden spoons, she's got her arms tied up now. That's not going to work. She actually... Now, what have I done there? This is always the problem with puppets, isn't it? They tie their arms and legs up. So anyway, she can now wave at you and she can walk. And here, it's a bit hard for you to see the whole of her, but here she is. So if I put my hands under her feet, she walks. She's looking particularly attractive with her bright pink feather boa hair. And she's wearing an old dress that I found in the house. So it could be a boy, so it could be Pinocchio, it could be whatever you like. You could make your own clothes, or you can use something that's around the house. Now you can see her a bit better without the hair. Her arms move, her legs will move, and if I pull this one you can see a leg coming up and down. So it's a bit bonkers, but you know, bonkers is good I think sometimes. Definitely use things around the house. So you could use washing up bottles and milk bottles instead of some of the things I say. So don't go, we can't do it because we haven't got the same things. Hello, Samantha. You're going to think I'm completely bonkers now. But we're making today a large toilet roll puppet that moves and waves and walks. Mine has particularly gorgeous bright pink hair with a feather boa I found around. Don't ask why I have a pink feather boa around. Okay, so as I said, this time I'm going to have to do it a bit backwards just so you can see what I've been up to. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this dress down. And this was just an old dress that I found that I put on. So it could be shorts if you've got a boy's clothes, or you could just make something up. But if I take this down, you'll see that the whole body and the whole construction is made up of tights, in my case balloons and toilet rolls, and it actually walks quite well. So here you can sort of see what's going on with the balloons and the toilet rolls and the tights now. So to make this work for you, I'm going to need to untie her hands. So I'm just going to cut the hands free for a minute so I can get the dress down a bit further. And if I cut that one there, you'll see the arm drop. And if I cut the other one for a moment down here, you'll see the other arm drop. And now, if I pull these down even further, you can see the whole construction. Now, you could make this shorter or longer. You could do whatever you fancied. And it can be a boy, it can be a girl. If you haven't got this many toilet rolls, you could cut them in half and just make a much shorter puppet. So the dress now is mainly off. That was just so you could get the idea. And now you can see the 2 arms and the 2 legs. And this is what I'm going to show you now, how to break this down and to make it. So I'm going to hook her. She was wearing a dress, I think we're going to call her her. I'm going to hook her here on my easel, if I can. I'm not sure she's going to hook. I might have to just put her over the top here on the chair. Maybe she sits in the chair and I stand up. That would be a plan. There you go. All right, so the first thing I did was take a pair of tights. So if you've got some old holey tights or stockings, it doesn't really matter, then pair of tights. I was thinking these could be really quite good if you actually took possibly some of those dark winter tights, you know, the very thick kind of brown or white or black ones that sometimes people wear in the winter. These ones are stockings, and I've also got pop socks. If you haven't got any of these, you could use old socks. I've got stockings. Really, it's a case of use up something that's old and unimportant. I'm going to start with a pair of tights, and I'm just going to shift her so I can sit down again. I know I normally stand, but I just thought it was easier for this one. And if I take the tights here, I'm going to cut the legs off to make this easier for me, but I'm going to leave it with a bit of a dangly bit here. So I'm not going to cut the legs off completely. I'm going to cut them about there and keep those 2 bits. So it's about 2 hand widths down. Obviously, it depends how long and what the tights are. Now, this is going to become the legs. And the trick to make the legs walk is they've got to be weighted with something. So I've got lots and lots of rice around at the moment, which I'm guessing you guys have. And what I did for the feet was I filled a freezer bag with some rice. So if I just do that here, while you're watching, and I'm only going to do bits of this so you can then use your own imagination a bit for it. So there's my first foot. Now the reason you need weight in the foot is so it can walk. If you make the feet too light, it won't walk. You could do it with a stone. If you've got some big stones in your garden, put it in a bag. You could do it with all manner of things. I just thought rice was quite handy for me. Hello Pamela, how are you? Hello Michael. Right, so I'm then going to tie a knot, but I'm tying it at one end to give it a kind of foot shape. So by tying the bag at one end, can you see how I've got a sort of foot shape now? And this looks like it's almost going up into the leg. If I tied it in the middle, it's going to be more like a kind of cat's paw. By tying the knot at the end, I've got a weighted foot. That way she can actually walk. So first things first, in goes the foot. So I'm opening up the leg of the tights that I just took off, and I chopped them off. I'm going to drop the bag of rice down into the tights till it gets right down to the bottom, and fit it into the toe of the stockings here. Now this could have just been stockings if that's what you've got. I've just cut it off, so I've got the weight of it there. Now what I need to do is tie another knot here. So I'm going to take the whole thing and tie a knot as close to the foot as I can. And when you're tying that knot, you can kind of jiggle it around a bit. So there we go. Now we've got the foot. Now the next thing we're going to do is put the leg in. So what I'm going to do now is, this is where the toilet rolls come in. Of course, it could be washing up liquid bottles. It could be anything around that you've got. But I've got lots of toilet rolls around, as I expect some of you have. So I'm going to post the toilet roll down the stockings now until it gets all the way down near to the foot. And where I'm tying the knots, if you remember the clown lesson we did, they're becoming the joints. So there's the foot and there's part of the leg. Now I'm actually quickly going to swap that one because I've got different sized toilet rolls. And if you think about it, the lower bit of your leg is a bit thinner. So I'm actually going to make use of that by using the thinner ones that I've got down lower. Before I ended up with all the same size toilet rolls, so that didn't happen. That's why I hadn't thought of it. So I put the thinner bit of toilet roll down there, push it down as far as I can get it to go, and then I'm going to tie another knot, but without bending the toilet roll. So there's another knot. That's the next bit in place. Next toilet roll, I'm going to put in, open up the stocking again, or the half of the tights that you've chopped off, and I'm going to post that down there. I suppose this could be tubey grip bandaging, but that would be a more expensive way to do it. I know that I'm always laddering tights and things, so there's always opportunities for having spare tights. So we've now got a foot. This will become the knee, and that's the upper leg. So I need to push that down a bit because I don't want a huge gap between the sections. I'm pushing that down as far as I can without bending it, and then I'm going to tie another knot. Okay, so there we've got a leg. And basically you're going to do exactly the same for the arms. So that's how we did the arms and legs. So that's phase number 1. All right. I hope you're not all thinking I'm completely bonkers making puppets out of toilet rolls, but there we go. And also what's nice about this is you can see that if you move it, it's got kind of human movement in it because the foot's weight is holding it in place. So if this was walking along, you can actually get it to look a bit like a leg. Now, really elaborate puppets would have strings on all the joints. We're not going to do that. We'll either do a very simple one like my Pinocchio one that only had them on his arms, or we'll just do feet and arms. So there's the first bit. You'll do 2 of those, that's for the 2 legs, and you need to do 2 of these for the 2 arms. Now, you're probably not going to get all this done today while I'm doing it. So just kind of take a screenshot if you want to, and also you can rerun this afterwards. I'll save it up as I do each day, so you can always rerun it. But basically, plastic bag full of rice or a stone or something, toilet roll, washing up liquid bowls, something to give it shape, and using knots to create the joints. Okay, so we've now got 1 leg. We need another leg and 2 arms, and exactly the same, you need weight in the hands to make it have a nice movement when it starts moving around. Okay, so I chopped off this bit. Now this bit we're going to use to be both the body, and we're going to use another one because obviously you'll need another pair of tights for the arms. We're going to use this bit to be the body and the head. So what I did earlier was I used a balloon, and knowing my luck, if I try and blow up a balloon in front of you, I will huff and puff and not much will happen. So if I just show you with my lady here, that was a balloon. Now obviously if you use a balloon, it might pop, so you could also do it by filling it up with rice or something, or you might just want to fill up maybe an old piece of a pillow cover or something from an old used pillow or something with stuffing to be the head, or you could even stuff another stocking with even old socks and other clothes you're going to throw away or something like that. So use your imagination. You know, if you have an old pillow or cushion, maybe you could use the stuffing out of that if you haven't got stuffing at home. I used a balloon, it's what I had. So it's not a case of you need a balloon, it just happened to be what I had. Oh, there you go, you saw me go bright red. So there's my balloon. Now you can see that this naturally takes on the shape of a head because it comes narrower at the bottom. So I'm going to put it in with the dangly bits down by the neck, and I'm going to post it into the pair of tights like that. Now this could have been filled with rice, or it could be that you filled a bag or something else with something else as stuffing. But there's the head going in, and it's got these 2 bits down here. And up here at the top of the head, you could either stitch it together, or you could use a piece of elastic to tie it together nice and tightly at the top here, or you could use, I used sellotape on mine before, which wasn't the best idea, but you can use something that you've got around. The elastic hair things are quite good. I'm just going to tie this one together with this piece of string that I've got. So I'm literally just tying it together. So I need to put it down just so I can get the knot to go. So if I'm doing it, holding it up in the air, I'm going to drop it. So if I tie a knot, oops, now there we go. So there's one knot. Oh, all right, there you go. It's turning back to a comedy show. There we are. Right, so there we go. Let me just do that again. And I would suggest then you need something a bit stronger than I've got here, but a hair elastic band would do it. All sorts of things. I'm just going to tie that off this time and hope it doesn't snap again. Okay, that's the top of the head. Now that's quite useful because then we can attach that bit to the spoons at the top to make the mechanism to maneuver it. At the bottom here, what you need to do is tie those two bits together in a reef knot, which is when you go here, you want to have one tail coming onto the outside like that, and then you want to make sure that it goes over so you get a nice neat knot like that, and pull it together and you've got your head. So that's that bit done. What you could do when we do get to it for hair is you could use wool or something and attach it. I found this really weird pink feather boa thing because I've got this art room that obviously I'm teaching you from, and so you could attach bits of feather boa all the way around the back as well. It wouldn't have to only be on the front, so she could end up with a beautiful pink hairstyle. Or if it was a boy, you could do it with even like those pom-pom balls that you make a wool yellow pom-pom ball for little spiky hair, something like that. But worse, that kind of could count as the hair. So we've got that. This is to connect us to both the arms and the body. And then we're going to do exactly the same with another balloon. So you need to have 4 like this and 2 like this. These will become the body. If you haven't got balloons, you could also post the whole of or part of a plastic bottle into your tights. And it wouldn't matter about this bit because the tights will take on the shape, and then when we connected it, this could have become the body, and it would have been even taller than my puppet, but that would be quite good fun to wander around the house with them. So we've got either a bottle or another balloon, and you're going to use exactly the same system. You're going to feed it in and then tie a knot and have the other knot at the top. So we've got all of those. Now I would need to connect this bit in its tights bottom section, and I could then tie it here around the neck to the top of the other thing like this. So you can get those two tied, and then I can use these taggy bits here. Once I've tied the body and head together, I can use those taggy bits to then tie the arms onto those. So that way I've tied the head to the body, and I've also tied the taggy bit from the head to the arms. Now you want the arms sort of hanging at the side a bit. You don't want them tied right in tight to the neck because that will be harder to work with. So you've got that. At the bottom of this, if you use the balloon or the bottle, you're going to have 2 taggy bits down here. And that's where you're going to attach your 2 legs, tying them into that. And you need to tie them in really nice and close to get the effect. Now if I pick up my poor lady here and just chop a few more of her strings off, so she won't be working for you anymore now because I've had to cut the strings just so you can see how she works. But if I hold it up now, you will see all the bits tied together and how that could work. Now you could make a pretty big puppet, and if you use the thicker winter tights, you wouldn't be seeing through to the toilet rolls and things, but it doesn't really matter. But it's just a thought. So let me pull that hand out of the dress there. Right, Now you can see the entire mechanism of the body. Here are the legs tied in at the bottom. There's the body. There's the head. That could have been tied in a bit tighter so it didn't stretch so much. And then I've got the entire body. Now once you've got that, the next part, I just need to push that down a bit, is to work out how to mechanism at the top, but also you need to dress it and do a bit of styling. Now, some of you will remember that the other day we did these sort of stocking heads. So you could make her a great big stocking head with your stitching like we did the other day. So in a way, this is joining a few of the lessons we've done before together. So you could do something like that. Or you could use googly eyes like these and stick them onto her face and things. You could fiddle around with either wool, or you could use, you know, that tinsel from Christmas decorations or something, and you know that kind of hair stuff we get at Christmas. You could put that for silver hair. You could make a wool pom-pom to be hair. You could have a bit of fun with all of that. You could make some silly clothes, so it looked almost like kind of a flower pot man or something like that. Or you could actually use some old clothes that are around and sort of fix them on with elastic bands and things. But you need it fully dressed before you start stringing it up. So you've got your head here. We're going to add, in this case, some hair. There she goes, she's looking gorgeous again. And I don't think the pink's the best thing, it just happens to be what I've got here. And then I'm going to put eyes. I could stitch a mouth. If I didn't pop the balloon, I could paint a mouth on. If you've got a solid head, then obviously you could stitch it like I just showed you. Once you've got her dressed, she's going to be a bit flippity-floppity, or he is, like this one. So we then need to tie them up to the strings. Now the simplest way of doing this, if I detach this one again, as I said, I'm sort of doing this lesson backwards, not forwards, because I thought it was going to be easier. And if I chop the strings off her head, what you need to do is, first of all, combine your chopsticks or whatever it is you choose to do the put spoons. It could be 2 rulers, could be 2 sticks of wood if you've got a shed with lots of remnant bits of wood. It can be whatever you like, but one way or another, I just use 2 kitchen spoons to prove that you can really do this with anything you find around. So if I chop the extra bits off now that we don't need, because they won't fit now, you can see I've just joined 2 spoons together. You can do it with string, you could do it with sellotape, but you need to make sure they're very securely held together. Now, if you wanted to do the simple one, like Pinocchio here, then you only need the 1 stick, and you need to connect it to the top of the head and the arms, and then that's all you're going to have, which is fine. And that's perfectly all right if you want to do that. And if you want to do the one like mine, who, for those who are just joining you, was beautifully dressed with a pink wig just now. If you want to do it with one like this, that I've done, the big one, with the puppets, and her arms and head are stretching a bit at the moment, then you've got to use a crisscross one like this. The first thing you need to do is attach the central cross to the top of the head. And that way then it will hold. So if I just do that quickly, and if you didn't have string or something, you could potentially even use another pair of tights or something to be your strings. Be imaginative, don't be limited by what you haven't got. So I'm just using a pop sock to connect it this time because one was close. And I'm going to tie now the head right through the middle of the cross like that. And that way then I'm going to do a double or treble knot to make sure it's really secure. And obviously I'd need to dress her again before I tied her together. But we don't have time really here. The neck's gone a bit saggy here. Ideally that should have been tied together tighter. And then we need to use the 2 front crosses here, the 2 coming forward, to attach from the wrist to the hand, And so this one will attach to this wrist. So if I just do that one quickly, again, I won't do all of them. Some of it you need to do at home. Now, I would suggest you get someone to hold it while you're stringing it. The simplest one is to do it like Pinocchio, where you only string the head and the arms. The more complicated one, you string all 4 limbs. And that way then you can make it appear to walk. So look, I've tied one string onto that spoon there. And I'm going to tie that onto her wrist down here. And I keep calling her because a minute ago she was wearing a very attractive floral blue dress for anyone who's just arrived. So if you want to whiz back in a minute through the video, you'll see her fully dressed in blue and pink. At the moment, she is not fully dressed. There we go. So now, oh, I've tied that one up way too high, but you get the idea how the hand's tied in. You then tie the other hand to the other forward one, and then you need to tie the 2 feet in. And if I was you, I would tie them from the front of the toe, not from the joint. And then it actually walks. Now, if you've just joined me, this whole lesson's back to front, because I'd made a complete walking puppet with a wig, dressed and everything else, using toilet rolls, balloons and rice. And when she's dressed at the beginning, she looks much better than she does now. But then by moving this, you can actually get the whole thing to walk. And of course, if you wanted it to talk, that will be down to your own voice. So she a moment ago was wearing this very pretty little blue dress. It was an old dress that I found in a, I don't know where it was actually, I just saw it around the other day. So there's a little blue dress there that was on her, and then she had the pink hair, and you could attach her face and everything else. Now, the simple one, as I said, would be to do it like that, with only the strings attached to the 2 hands and the head. The more complicated one, like I did, we attached from across the centre to the head, 2 arms to the front, 2 legs to the back 2, and then get her to walk along. So, as I said, it's all a bit daft, but a great way of using up toilet rolls, old tights, and possibly old milk bottles for the body, and just making a junkyard puppet. And these puppets stand as I'm sitting about to my shoulder, so they can be really quite big. And if you had 2 or 3 of you make them, you could do a bit of a puppet show or something. The other day we did that 3-dimensional theatre. So there's a few throwbacks to a few other lessons we've done here, and it's all just a bit of silliness. But toilet rolls and tights, balloons, milk jugs. I mean, if you didn't have something else for the head, you maybe could put an old ball into the head, like a tennis ball or a bigger ball, a little beach ball or something. Use your imagination. Don't be limited by what you don't have. Actually work out what you do have. And I'm ending the programme today without anything to show you, because I've now completely dismantled my poor lady, and she's sitting at my feet, and I can't show you her in her full glory anymore. But if you fancy a go at that, I would love to see some photos. It's basically taking this whole principle of breaking figures down into sections, and we're doing that using toilet rolls and washing up bowls and balloons, and then we're connecting strings so it walks around. Anyway, anybody makes one, please show me. Always good to see it. I will be back again on Tuesday. I do private art lessons, which are not this sort of thing at all. These are more like lessons I did when I used to teach in schools. The other ones are full of psychology and very, very serious, but fun and hugely informative. And as I said, you can read up on those on my website, www.artatthebeach.co.uk. And students that I've taught, even after about 15-20 hours, have got their own unique style and have been selling in art galleries. So if you'd like a go at that, contact me by messenger. A couple of you did yesterday. I'm home now and I'm free for the next hour if anyone wants to give me a ring about that. And other than that, I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm sure I must seem completely balmy today, but there she is, dishevelled and not fully attached, but 2 arms, 2 legs, weighted hands and feet, tied together, basically tights with knots for the joints. There you go, one lady. Take care, and do send me photos if you have a go at making one. And if you have any other brilliant ideas like that, then do show me. See you all soon. Please like and share, and I'll see you Tuesday 2:30, and then Thursday 2:30, and then the weekend again. Bye.